All right, let's listen to a little bit of this.
It's hot. We had to leave it going. The transmission is hot.
Okay.
I'm not moving my head. Rob, what are you doing?
Put your hands on the wheel.
Me?
Put your hands on the wheel. Put your hands on the dash.
What are you doing with your gun out, man?
All right, I'm not pointing at you.
There's no
Don't worry
threat.
about it. I'll tell you in a second.
Holster your weapon,
All
man.
right? You don't tell me what to do. All right? Keep your hands on the dash. Keep your hands on the thing. All
right.
On the 911 call, all right?
Okay.
I'll explain all that to you in a second, all right?
Because we're trying to get water, right?
Okay, I don't know what you're trying to do right now, but you're over here with the door open. All right?
Yeah, we take a piss and look at that. Is it illegal to have the door open?
Cool, man. So calm down. Let's start over.
You put your gun away. I'm not calm down. Put your guns away.
Don't worry about my gun.
Put your gun away. Our hands are up.
You don't tell me what to do. All right?
Put your gun away.
Turn it extra.
You know, here's the thing about this. The way this thing looks like it turned out, the officer was probably not stopping them for what he was saying he was stopping them for. It sounds more like suspicious activity as far as the cop goes. It's what he's going to say. Because at first he said there was a crash or a car accident, and then he switched it up. Forget about all of that. Forget about this particular stop if you can. And now I need you to put your head into the head of a different police officer doing the same thing. I mean, approaching a vehicle with your weapon out. That was like super common when I was working with LAPD, working, morning watch, which is like graveyards in South Los Angeles and Watts and all that. Not on every stop, but on certain stops. And the fact of the matter is, the cops cannot rely on what you say, and you don't know what the cops know or don't know. So you can argue and do all kinds of shit, but then everybody acts surprised and sad when there's a shooting and somebody loses their life. Best way to avoid that. I mean, these guys here look like they're really working hard at provoking this cop, whether he's right or wrong, and he's probably wrong, the cop. But, like I said, I don't know the whole story. But, if you had to explain to everybody during the detention why you were stopping them, let's just say these two guys robbed a bank and they're going through all of this banter just to get the guy out, the cop all scrambled up and jumbled, and he doesn't have his gun out. And the next thing you know, he's got, 3 bullets in the head. This happens all the time. There's endless police videos that show that, dash cam videos, and cops that get just lit up, man, on a righteous, legit traffic stop, or because they see a car on the side of the road and they think the car's broken down, and they get out to go help, and little do they know it was, people dumping a body, and the bad guys always know what they know, and the cop doesn't know jack shit except for what he thinks is going on. Meaning, you can stop a person for running a stop sign and not know they got 2 bodies in the trunk and a, Mac 10 fully loaded down by the side of their thigh. You don't know that. So you're always behind the power curve in terms of time. If these 2 guys were really bad guys and their intent was to put this cop down, he's already behind the curve, so he wants to give himself as much edge as he possibly can. Not this guy, but let's just say a legit stop. So that would be the reason you would have your weapon out. It's one less thing you have to do if shit goes bad. There's certain actions, and, people that haven't been in a life or death situation, especially an armed conflict, it's hard to really process how quickly these things turn violent and they go kinetic. Like, it's not like you feel it building up and, there's an intro and then the fucking main event and then an outro. You're mid-sentence, and the next thing, people are dead and people are hopefully still living, and hopefully it's the right ones. Because when it goes sideways, it goes at supersonic speed, because you as the officer don't know what you don't know. And again, I'm not talking about this particular stop. I'm talking about the tactics of walking up with a gun, and also the mistake of trying to have an officer explain to you. Here's where I'll give you this example. Let's just say I'm this cop, and I was told that 3 different citizens saw you loading a body in the trunk of the car, or a kidnapped woman, let's just say, with her mouth taped up, whatever. and I stop you, or I see you stopped on the side of the road. Now, when I come walking up, and you're like, "What the fuck you stopping me for?" Now, do you think I'm going to say, uh, it's kind of a bad example because it would be a felony stop. Let's just say whatever. For whatever reason, I approach and it's getting late, man. I can't think clear. And you're like, "What the fuck are you stopping me for?" Well, I'm not going to say, "Hey, man, I think you got a kidnap victim in the trunk," because now the jig is up. You know what I know, and next thing I know, bullets are flying. I may tell you all kinds of shit that's not true, and people are, "Oh, the cops can lie to citizens, but we can't lie to the cop." Well, yeah, that's the way that's been dealt with in court. That's what the courts have ruled. It's called a ruse. And I may come up and say, "Hey, man, it looked to me like you were flashing your lights. Is everything okay?" Or, something weird like, "Hey, is your vehicle leaking transmission fluid? Because I've been following this trail here behind you." And, whatever it takes to delay until your backup arrives or until you get a chance to get the drop on these guys, whatever. It's a really terrible example because it's really late. It's almost midnight. But the idea is you don't want to tip your hand until you have overwhelming forces, meaning that if there's two suspects, you want to have six cops there. Because, it's not like, "Oh, it takes six people to fucking arrest two guys." It's not about playing fair. It's about surviving for everybody. Good guys first, bad guys last, in my opinion. You look out for each other. And again, I know these aren't popular times for law enforcement. I'm talking about under normal situations where we have, duly appointed law enforcement that everybody agrees, let's just say in our hypothetical situation, are good cops. They have to deal with the lowest of the low. Now, they also got to deal with Mr. and Mrs. Citizen. And it's extremely difficult to oscillate between those two without every now and again pissing somebody off. "Well, that's because your academy is only 7 months long. It takes lawyers, years to get a lawyer." Which is another issue too. I noticed in a lot of these cop watch videos, the comments are, "The cop doesn't even know the section. He doesn't even know the citation. Look at this, man. What a dumbass. He doesn't even know the law." Look, why do you think we have lawyers? And why do lawyers have to do so much research? And why do they have paralegals and shit to help them? You go up to any lawyer and start asking for specific sections and codes, and they can list off the ones they deal with all the time. I've been retired from LAPD since 95, and I can still tell you that an illegal left turn against the sign prohibiting it in Los Angeles is 22101D. Now, that's probably because I dealt with that a lot. Pretty sure that's right. But it's like, we all know what 187 is. That's the 187 of the Penal Code in California. But, you can look at something and know that it's wrong and that it's illegal without knowing the exact code, the exact section. It would take freaking 40 years to memorize the entire penal code, the vehicle code. You can't do that. So let's just say, for an example, a guy pulls out a fake badge, yeah? And he IDs himself as a cop, and then we get called. Okay, I know it's against the law, it's illegal to present yourself as a police officer when you're not. You know it too. I don't know the fucking section. And I don't think there's many cops in the country that could rattle that off. And I'm pretty sure that 90% of attorneys that you stopped in the hallway on their lunch break and said, "Hey, I'll give you $100 if you could tell me what section it is for falsely identifying yourself as a police officer." They're not going to be able to tell you that either. That this is just the reality of life. So expecting, cops that go through 7 months or 6 months of an academy to understand or to memorize the entire fucking penal code and the vehicle code, that's just unrealistic. And that's just from either super cop haters or people that don't have even a slightly realistic grasp on real life. So, Doctors have to do research before surgeries unless it's something they've done over and over and over and over again. Yeah. I mean, that's just reality here. Um, but anyways, I digress, and I just thought I'd drop this and see what you guys think. Again, I'm not defending this officer in this case because, quite frankly, from the little bit I saw, it looks like, he was out of line. Um, but these two guys here were being very provocative, and it's super dangerous. It's also very arrogant. It puts the officer in a tactically fucked up situation, and if you want to go around pissing people off who have guns in their hand, and the cops are human. The guy may not be stable. He may be going through divorce. He may be a nutcase. He may be on steroid. You don't know. If you want to gamble like that, then that's your business. Um, but doesn't always work out. With a successful lawsuit and a terminated cop, sometimes it ends up with a funeral, and it's not the right person. So use your best judgment. Anyways, LMS Tactical, I'm out.